Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long was 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games and sometimes friends. But Long was 1975.
Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975, and welcome to a Funko, Back to the Future and other action figures pickups video. I'm not gonna lie, the majority of this is Funko because I'm absolutely loving collecting for Funko right now. And since I actually have a custom glass cabinet on its way, I can't wait to be able to display that. Well, they're displayed now, you just don't get to see them. But I can't wait to have them properly displayed in a glass cabinet with lights. So maybe I'll do a video of that, maybe I won't, but I'll tear into this because there's quite a chunk of stuff here. And this is pretty much from the last month or so, pretty much actually, pinch of July, most of August, some of it Amazon, pretty much the rest of it in the wild, which is quite interesting and exciting because it's been a while since local shops around me, and none of these are specific collectors shops or things like that, sort of like places like the model shop downtown, or even toy stores like Smith's, which have massive selections of toys and stuff like that. This pretty much, all of this came from the high street, most of it supermarkets, some of it B&M, and there was a pinch of Amazon, but I'll explain that because I had to get them all in one go. I'll explain that when I get to that. But I have to say I do enjoy doing videos that aren't just about my love of gaming, because I love quite a lot of things. Anyway, we'll get into it first of all with the Kenner, but it's Hasbro, but the Kenner range of Mandalorian Star Wars figures that now themselves have adopted the vintage, you know, like the special anniversary edition of the Star Wars one, which I have in its entirety if you want to see a video of it. And then there was the 40th anniversary of Empire, which I have some, didn't do a video because I don't have the rest of them, but they seem to disappear from shelves really rather quite quickly, and the scalpers on private sellers on Amazon are going batshit crazy for what they want for Boba Fett, which no, not happening. Anyway, Star Wars The Mandalorian, I absolutely love the show. It's one of the few Disney shows that's not shoving identity politics down our throats, nor is it woke. Hence the fact that it's a massive success, and why people like Kathleen Kennedy don't like it, to which I say, go fuck yourself, Kathleen Kennedy, you destroyed Star Wars. Also, it looks like, obviously Cara Dune is the first figure, looks like Gina Carano will be coming back, is what I've heard, because of the massive backlash of fans against her being dropped for some things she said, which to be fair, weren't even that bad. But obviously, if you don't fit Hollywood's narrative anymore, you aren't welcome. But it's a really nice, cool little figure. It's not up there with like Black Series figures and things like that. It was a tenner. I got it in my local Asda. Obviously, it being the European version, the back's just a mixed pile of crap and not as good as the North American ones. Sticker that is a pain in the ass to get off. I can see it's a retro design, Hasbro. Why do you stick this on it? But yeah, it's a Star Wars quality figure. If you like Star Wars quality figures, I do, then you know it's absolutely fine. Plus that tenner seems to be pretty much the range prices for these sort of size figures, which to me seems quite expensive, but this is the world we live in. But yeah, bought it because I want to show my support for Gina Carano. I mean, they can't ignore you know, the sales of this figure as, you know, another reason to maybe you did the wrong thing getting rid of her. So, and B, also because she's the second best character in The Mandalorian after The Mandalorian, and obviously I am a massive Mandalorian / and/or Boba Fett fan. Or as though there's a bloke at work who's been, and I didn't have the heart correct him because he's just going to make himself look like a knob for the rest of his life, refers to him as Boba Feet. Oh well, and with that figure, I also picked up an actual The Mandalorian figure. Same problem with the sticker, but the same absolutely cool packaging, and these will displayed in the packaging because I don't take anything out of the packaging, because why would you do such a thing? To be fair, if you want to take out the packaging, go crazy. I've seen arguments on YouTube about this. You bought it, you can do whatever the hell you want with it. There is no right or wrong with figures and what you do with them once you've paid your hard-earned cash on them. I personally won't be taking them out of the package because that's how I like to display them, and I'm a bit OCD like that. But again, I think it's a pretty nice figure for the price. There are better figures out there for the price. We have one of those that's nothing to do with Star Wars in this video, but this is just your standard Star Wars figure these days. And I love the Mandalorian, and if you've seen my previous Funko pickup videos, you'll know that I've got a whole bunch of Mandalorian Funkos. I've also got one more of these, of the child, but don't know where I put it, and it's driving me nuts. But yeah, so I picked those two up in a supermarket, which bodes well for the next bit because it is also in the high street. And that was, I picked this up in B&M for like £1 and change because Hot Wheels covers absolutely everything. I do have a video on my it's not complete, but it's pretty large and spankaroonie, and I still need to try and get the new one from the Robert Preston film that's out next year. But yeah, I have a complete, or a near complete, pretty massive collection of Hot Wheel Batmobile you know, models, because I love Hot Wheels. It's such a great way to get into collecting because it's so, you know, relatively cheap. And I have a bunch of Hot Wheels DeLoreans as well. But I picked up Luke's Land Speeder. Now, all I can say is for the price point, because you know how much these are when they're initially sold before all the scalpers, collectors, resellers, vultures collect them, you know, and try and flog them on. That's amazing. That is an absolutely fantastic model for the price point. I looked through the entire bin. There was only one of these, not to get more for me, but to bag a couple for friends I know who would absolutely love it. And there weren't. This was the only Luke Land Speeder, which makes me wonder, A, they got hardly any, or B, it had been, you know, absolutely rinsed over by other people. The card's got a little bit of a bend there, but that can be fixed with the application of weights, which is when you're used to how flimsy the backing is on things like this, you grow very accustomed to having to apply to your collection of action figures and stuff like that. But there were no other Star Wars ones on there, and there were no other Batman ones or anything like that. This was the only movie and or sci-fi related piece on display in that B&M. I do like B&M. They will resurface again in this video because they are also very good for Funkos. Didn't get any of the Funkos I have to show you here in B&M, but they are very good for Funkos. The next two figures might surprise you if you know that I have a rather, and I have a video of it, you know, decent collection of Marvel Universe figures, and that would be for the lack of detail, although one from here does show up in that video, and that would be the Marvel Legends range of action figures. I have a Captain America already, and now I have Spider-Man and Daredevil, two of my favourite characters of all time. Don't really plan on getting that many unless they start banging out stuff like the Punisher, because I'm not going for a full set. I'm just going for my favourite characters, and they will look nice mixed amongst the rest of my various sort of things on display on my wall and on my shelves. But I do like these. The main reason is, you can argue, again, the price point is a tenner. For that price, that was round about Marvel Universe figures, which detailed wise and articulation, Alan's talking about wide, as well as, you know, things that came with them was a lot better. But those days seem to be gone now, and if you want that level of sort of detail, you have to go for a higher price point. You have to go for these companies' more premium range of action figures. I'm guessing these are literally for kids, but they do very much remind me of, and I'm wondering if that's the route they were going for, to kind of, you know, broaden the market other than just for kids, of the original early 80s Secret Wars figures, because I had loads of those as a kid and I absolutely love them. But what's good about these is, I mean, they're alright. They're alright. I like them, else I wouldn't have bought them. And again, they have that crude Secret Wars 80s aesthetic to them, certainly with the points, limited points of articulation. But the packaging is really, really, really nice. And if you saw what I put on Facebook, you will know that I am an absolute nerd for unpunched cards. I absolutely love when I find an unpunched card. Does it do anything for the figure? Might do on a higher end or more specific or rarer figure. On ones like this, probably not. It just makes me happy. But these are very nicely packaged, and they do actually have a decent bio on the character. Not like 2 lines and every single language dotted around Europe. So I do like that. They are nice. They're a figure for a price point. They are a tenner. You could probably argue that they're certainly better value than that, but they are also a 3.5-inch figure. There's more weight is what I'm saying. Whether or not cheap plastic or more of cheap plastic makes it a better figure, I don't know. I think they're slightly better for the price point, with the fact that the packaging is all in English, and it's really, really nice. Plus also Daredevil, love me some Daredevil. I'm the only person who doesn't hate the Ben Affleck movie, although no one hates it as much as Ben Affleck now, even though he was reasonably proud of it back in the day. I would recommend the director's cut, which is not just good for what it adds, but what it takes away as well. So yeah, that movie's nowhere near as bad as people say. I actually really like it, as in really, really do enjoy it. It's one of my more favourite superhero movies, and I think he's absolutely fantastic as Daredevil in it. Its CG has aged extremely badly, but so has a lot of stuff from that period, particularly when it comes to sort of the death-defying physicality and acrobatics of superheroes. But Matt Murdock, Daredevil, really do like him, and he does have his Billy Club. So there you go, and again we get a decent bio. Now, I've not actually done a search online to see how many figures there are in this range. There was an Elektra one when I was there. There was an Iceman one. I can't remember what the other ones were. There was a Black Panther one. So they are surprising me with what is popping up in this range. So I don't know if this is still Series 1 or Series 2, or if there even is going to be an ongoing series. I walked into that one. But I do like them. Now, the next one is I picked up Sloth Funko from the Goonies in the High Street. This was in a new store downtown in the galleries. That is like, it's an import toy store. Obviously their Funko isn't. Had a load and load and load of Funko in there. Slightly more expensive as you would expect in the High Street, but yeah, had to get Sloth. I mean, come on. I mean, hey, you guys. That's all there is to it. What's interesting is my mate was in there, and he liked the idea that you could buy a blind box of 2 Funkos for a tenner in a box that you had no idea what was in there, and he bought it. And we were joking around because we went for, like, you know, dinner that day, lunch I should say, me and a couple of buddies from work, and he goes, I bet I get someone I have no idea who it is, and you do. And then he opened it up and he went, who the hell is Special Agent Orange? And I went, I know. Would you like me to explain it to you? So Eddie Murphy's character from the start of the amazing movie Trading Places, where he's begging by pretending to be a Vietnam vet on a little skateboard, a board with wheels. I don't know if I go as far as to say a skateboard. Look at it. And so he very kindly gave it to me because he had no idea who he was. And I guess if you break the price down to that, that would be a £5. That's pretty good value. I think it's a 10 quid Funko. But yeah, I love Trading Places. So he gave it to me, very kindly gave it to me. I since then found out one of the Back to the Future Martys I bought with the camcorder. This is the problem with Marty figures, is there's so many of them. There's so many slight variations between some of them. You kind of forget which ones you bought. So it did end up being a trade because I gave him that for his trouble. But the other figure he got was a Voltron character. I can't remember who it was, but he obviously had no idea who Voltron was. So he was determined to get the best out of this. Then the next week, because he sent me a text message on my phone, because he told me at work he was going to go back to this store. And the next week he picked up another blind box from the completely different side of this pile of blind boxes. And he got the exact same 2 figures. To which I know he said then is, I smell a rat. I smell someone who's bought a shitload of the same figures, like a cheap auction or something like that, and is using this as an excuse to get rid of them. So he was determined to do it again and get something good. And then he bought one the following week. I told you this is like a month or so with the pickups. And he got, I can't remember what the other character was. It wasn't a Voltron. But he got him again. So, I call bullshit on that. I don't have the bag on me. I'm going to tell you what store it was. Maybe he's just doomed when it comes to his luck on picking such things up. But, yeah, it does start to smell of a rat. These are... Who makes these? Can't read the name of it. It's so bloody small on that one. I don't have my glasses on me. Jada. Now, a lot of people don't understand why I bought this one, but they have two range of. They do a lot of movie-based vehicles such as Ecto One. I think and they also do a range of weird movie licenses. Like they do a load. Almost all their stuff is Fast and Furious, but they do the. Is it a Corvette? I can't remember what car it is because I have no interest in it. I like the movie, but I wouldn't want this. It's either a Corvette or Mustang or Trans Am. I don't know. The guy's car from the It movie. You can get that. And you get like a little figure of the It Clown with it, which I find odd. You can also get the Mystery Machine, which is kind of cool. And you get two figures of Shaggy and Scooby. And you can also get a 1962 Volkswagen camper with Turtles graphics on the side. And a turtle figure. They're like this. This one's a lot smaller. For about 20 quid each. But it's not the actual turtle wagon, even though I absolutely loved it and never got around to buying it before it sold out. But then they also do a smaller range of display pieces where they do this thing that everyone does, that Hot Wheels does, which is you buy a car and it's some model of sports car or something like that, or iconic 60s thing or a brand new one, and then they design the paintwork with how they think it would be for a specific character. You know, like a Joker car or a Batman car that's not the Batmobile, which in itself is absolutely stupid. And then a Harley Quinn one. I hate shit like that. I don't know why shit like that exists. I don't mind it so much on Hot Wheels, like with the Turtles inspired ones, because they were cool. They're only a couple of quid. But that would be the range this size. And there were two other entries in this that weren't just based on superheroes, because I think there was like 7 entries in the series, well 8 I should say altogether. And they're 7 quid, which you could argue was a lot I guess for the size, but then so is everything now. And that's an Optimus Prime Generation 1 cab with the same sort of, it's not entirely accurate, but it's a box that is somewhat, you know, very reminiscent of, influenced by or similar to, I should say, the original Generation 1 Transformer boxes, because I still have mine and they're all boxed. Doesn't transform, don't care. That to me is a really, really cool little nice display piece, and it also mixes things up because I don't have a massive amount of Transformers on display in my various collections, in my various shelves and rooms. But I really, really like that. Like I did argue with someone at work who didn't even like Transformers, so what was the point that you're all you know, you're all like kind of, why would you buy it if it doesn't transform? But you don't even watch Transformers, any of the Transformers, even the new movies, or buy any of their, you know, toys, so why do you care? But there you go. I actually really, really, really quite like that. 7 quid. Again, as I said in my Back to the Future jacket, if you're happy to pay something, then it's an absolutely fine price. This was another one I picked up. That I picked up in an Asda. This I picked up in an Asda, but it was not on the shelf with all the other vehicles part of this range. It had been dumped on the floor, and I was walking around doing shopping for lunch and stuff like that, and yeah, I saw this and went, like, the corner of my eye and just went, nah, is that? No, it's not. No, it's not. And it was a Back to the Future time machine DeLorean. The one from the, I think I got away with the successful stealth Windy Pops then. What do you think? And yeah, it's by Jada, so I didn't know they had a smaller range, but yeah, it's 7 quid. I saw it, the hang tab is gone into the box, so I might have to break my rule and open this to get the hang tab back out, because that's how my OCD works. But it's only tape on the side, so that's not too much of a problem. But yeah, it's just basically a rather nice little, not particularly, you know, over the top, not massively detailed, but certainly more than your Hot Wheels entries into stuff of the DeLorean from Back to the Future, the first movie. So obviously I have to have it, because you can never have too many DeLoreans, not just time machine DeLoreans, DeLoreans in general. One day I might do a pickup, because I've gone through a bunch of my Back to the Future stuff in various segments at various points of the collection, but I might dig out just my DeLoreans and do a video of every single Back to the Future DeLorean I own. Now, this is kind of cool. This is another Funko thing. They're key rings, so I think they were like 4 quid and change, and basically it's to do with the last movie, or you could argue therefore the recent-ish movie of Godzilla and Kong, and they're little key rings, but they're Funkos, but they are very, 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 very detailed. And I had to get me Kong and Godzilla, because I love me Kong and Godzilla, and it's just like, it looks nice on your shelf in comparison to the other size of Funkos. I think that pretty much all the range when I went through it for these was just pretty much, it was Godzilla and Kong, and then there was a bunch of, I can't remember, I think it was cartoon characters, but comic characters I should say, as in comic books, not, you know, when I say cartoon, that was like just related TV shows. No, it was comic book characters. I don't know why I went to such a specific explanation then for you, but ho hum, there I did. Right, they look really, really, really I can't talk. They look really, really cool, especially for the size and especially for the price point. Let's jump back into Funko territory because this is one that's very, very, very special to my heart because it's basically one of my favourite bands of all time. And I never knew that they had Funkos. I don't know why. I guess if I searched for them on Amazon, I would have found that out. But I never did because obviously all pop culture makes it into Funkos. But I was watching one of those people react to videos on YouTube, and I was watching a guy react to watching Pour Some Sugar, just giving it away, Pour Some Sugar on Me, for the first time ever by Def Leppard. And it was because one of his subscribers had sent him a bunch of Funkos to inspire some of his videos, and they sent him a bunch of Def Leppard Funkos, to which he was like, they were really cool, and showed them on camera, and then he went, better watch some Def Leppard, to which my brain just went, wait, what? There are Def Leppard Funkos? So I jumped straight on Amazon, and pretty much all of them were around about the £10 mark. Some were like £6-7, some were 12 quid, so they all balanced out when I bought all of them, because I did buy all of them, for basically an average of £10 a pop. So I got the entire band, because I remember the order I listened to Def Leppard albums in was weird, because they were a band that I only became kind of into and aware of when we rented a local library at the time, Nelsey Library, used to basically you know, take tapes out for a week or so, and it was free, and then just basically allegedly pirate them. And then return them. And for some reason, I or my brother picked up, because it did the rounds through the house, and then we all ended up buying an original anyway, then I'm upgrading to CDs and that, but picked up Hysteria, which was an album that was never particularly massively successful on actual launch, but then became phenomenal, absolutely amazing. It was something like 17-20 million copies sold, and had 7 hit singles, and I loved it. We used to go down my mate's house, Luke, on a Saturday morning and some holiday mornings and stuff like that, and after school, and watch the same video again and again and again, which is Def Leppard in the round, which was not even live songs. It was they took the footage of them performing in the round, which is a famous gig in America, stadium, I guess, place. I'm unfamiliar with it because I'm doing a pickup video, and they just like kind of put the album versions of the songs underneath the live footage, but we didn't care. We just watched it again and again and again, and so we were just obsessed with Def Leppard. So then I went backwards through their albums, so it would have been High and Dry, Pyromania, then High and Dry, then On Through the Night, and then I went to Adrenalize, and I still have a massive soft spot for Def Leppard. Yes, you could argue their music's probably it's not fashionable anymore, probably hasn't been fashionable for years, but I don't care. People who only listen to music to make a particular statement, jog on. That's not what music is about. Music is to be listened to and enjoyed. If you enjoy something but you're ashamed to tell someone you enjoy it because of what they might think of you, then it's not so much what you're listening that there's a problem with, it's possibly your friend. Anyway, so yeah, big Def Leppard fan. So, got the entire band. Got Joe Elliott. Again, it's Funkos. You either love them or you hate them. They're Mama. I understand that people don't like them, but to me and my mates, they just personally encapsulate everything that's great about pop culture depiction of your favourite things. So yeah, I got Joe Elliott, I got Rick Savage. It's not a problem as such. There's something I don't understand, but yeah, Phil Collen, I love them. I just think they're brilliant. These look absolutely fantastic, all displayed in one place on your shelf, and they get a lot of attention. People always like draw their eye to them and go, "Who's that?" All in that chunk there. Holy shit, that's Def Leppard in Funko form. Yes, it is, my friends. Vivian Campbell. Herein lies the problem. Not because I didn't want Vivian, because I do want Vivian. But show you the last one. Rick Allen. And he's only got one arm. That in itself, if you don't know Def Leppard are, look up the story of how he lost his arm and how he learnt to drum again with electric snare drums he played with his feet that contained samples of all the drums he would have played, or you know, hits. I don't know, I'm not a drummer. Strum strikes, whatever, with his arm that he lost. But why is there no Steve Clark figure? I don't understand. You can buy figures of deceased people. all across the range of Funko, whether it's actors, musicians, things like that. So obviously you can get Freddie Mercury. Why can't you get Steve Clark? I would love to have Steve Clark as well as Vivian Campbell. Obviously Steve Clark, like I said, he's deceased, sadly passed away. He was an absolute legend. I would love to have him. The only thing I can think of is it's his family or the estate that own the rights to him that don't want it put out there, which is a great shame because then it would be entirely complete. But as it is, I'm still incredibly happy with this range of Funkos because Def Leppard. Anyway, couple more Funkos because I love Deadpool, but Backyard Gritter Deadpool. All these Deadpools breaking the fourth walls, all more so like depictions because it's his 30th anniversary range of stuff he's been in specific comics and things like that. I absolutely love, but yeah, I just love his. Read his shirt, take that in for a moment. Absolutely love me some Deadpool. Getting quite the large collection of Deadpool now. Getting quite the bloody large collection of Funko Pops. So that was they were all Amazon, as I said. That was another high street as the pickup. Seems to be that the supermarkets, as in Tesco's at least, and Sainsbury's I should say, sorry, are getting really good with the ones they sell. They're not like ones that no one else seems to want or anything like that. They are, you know, current brand new ranges that show up in the toy shops at the same time they show up in the supermarkets. Obviously supermarkets are cheaper. It's not like some afterthought which is to just palm off all our crap ones that no one likes. This one is an interesting one because I saw it and it's just cool. I just love the character. It was from an event a few years ago when I can't remember specifically what happened because I speed read the Cliff Note version basically, but different characters became combined to create a unique character based on attributes and you know, the powers of the two separate entities. And that would be, I got Diamond Patch. Look at it, look at his little pop claws in his eye patch. Basically it was Wolverine or Logan combined with Emma Frost. So he's telepathic, but only when he jabs you with his claws, which are no longer adamantium or bone, they are now diamond claws. Can't remember if that meant the rest of his skeleton was, you know, bonded with diamonds or anything like that. I was going to say, how would that even work? Then how the fuck would adamantium even work, to be fair? But I just love the design of this character, and you know, the fact that it's unique interpretation of Wolverine, and he's got his claws popped, and yeah, just one of those. You see, some Funkos, when you realise that they've made a character of them, you just fall more so in love with their depiction as a Funko than necessarily you did as a character. I like the character, but I just think that's an absolutely banging Funko. Two more things. Pick Me Up, again from a supermarket, 20 quid. Think about what I was talking about with, is it Jada? I picked me up a Back to the Future 2 time machine. There was only one on the shelf. There's never been another one on the shelf since, because I wouldn't mind an original movie version of this, but it's a Back to the Future 2 time machine. The wheels are up. You can, you know, flip them so they are down. I mean, 20 quid, a bit expensive. See what I said about the price of something, but it's certainly a lot more detailed than most of the stuff you would get available in the toy section of a supermarket. I really actually quite like it. I don't know if it's as detailed as the other DeLoreans I have, but those I had to mail away for. I couldn't pick up in the supermarket, and I certainly do love the fact that, as I mentioned at the start of this video, the convenience of picking up stuff in your local supermarket and high street is just so much more convenient, you know, than having to, you know, mail order or drive. Because if I want to go to a proper toy shop, I have to drive downtown or to the outskirts of town, like the Big Smiths, and I can't be asked to do that. I'm a creature of comfort and habit, and I like to maintain my localness when it comes to leaving my house. But also, the other cool thing is, it does say try me. It lights up. Come on, tell me that's not cool. Tell me that's not cool. Again, I will probably definitely, I say that, I will probably definitely, probably not a word you should put in front of the word definitely if you want definitely to sound urgent. Do all my DeLoreans. But yeah, saw that, loved it, had to have it. I mean, I could go online. I think I've got lit. Oh no. Don't tell me. I could go online and just check to see what their entire range is and see if there is a Back to the Future 3 DeLorean, which I would love to own as well in this, because I think this is bigger than my other ones. And definitely the first one. But also another thing I like about the high street is keeping that level of surprise and mystery, and not knowing what could be there one day of the week and not the next day. Just show up against, you know, all the things out there in pop culture that I like. Final pickup I got from B&M, and it's a McFarlane's Toys figure, so you know it's going to have a shit ton of detail. And you know what? First of all, they were Todd toys, and they became McFarlane toys. But I opened them back then because what was it? I was in my late teens, early 20s, and stuff like that. But I used to buy so many of the McFarlane toys across all the comics and stuff like that. But specifically Spawn. Every week of Forbidden Planet, must have spent a fortune on them. But I opened them all. They're in buckets somewhere in one of the various attics. But he's gone on for years and years and years, and he's basically known now. Also, he's got the DC universe rights, hasn't he? But also known as pretty much the best quality and detail you will get on action figures outside of Mecha. Although I personally think they're of the same detail. And there are only two in this range, and that would be the Cyberpunk 2077 range and Johnny Silverhands, which is basically Keanu Reeves. I saw this in there. Guru Larry, if you do watch this, I do have two. I sent you a picture on Facebook. I do have two. I managed to pick one up for you, because the thing about B&M is what stock they get, because whether it's like end of line stock, factory damages, things like that, it's completely different and dependent upon which B&M you go to, and there are a number around me, but only this one in Clevedon had these. So yeah, I picked up Johnny Silverhands. I got one for you, Guru Larry. I don't have PayPal, so I just need to get paid, and then I'll send it to you, and I'll chuck in those Yorkshire tea bags from ages ago. So yeah, I got one for Burhan, if you're watching me, as well. So that might take a little bit more shipping because you're in China. But yeah, so look at it. Look at the detail. Another swappable. What he's got a guitar, but he's got his hands. You know, because obviously it had to. That's me showing what its hands do. That's not me going, I like hands. Yeah. But look at the detail on it. Absolutely look on the detail on it. And then also there's the other character whom I know nothing about nor care. Now, before anyone says anything about who wants a figure of Cyberpunk, I wanted it because it's Keanu Reeves from Cyberpunk, whose character is awesome in Cyberpunk. Plus also it's Keanu Reeves. It's Keanu Reeves. And before anyone says it, but Cyberpunk, that incredibly broken, buggy game from last year, fucking love me some Cyberpunk 2077. I've never played it on the 8th generation consoles. The first time I played it was the first game I downloaded and played on my Xbox Series S, and while you could argue that is the 8th generation version of it, because there will be from what I understand, at the end of this year, getting close though, aren't we? A 9th generation to take advantage of the new hardware, which I can't wait for. I mean, it's still being patched regularly, but I never had any problems really with my version. I've got a video on it if you want to see my first thoughts of goofing around or cocking around in Cyberpunk 2077. But yeah, I never had any real problems with it, and I do enjoy. I'm only about halfway through, but I do really enjoy the game, really enjoy the story, and so yeah. Saw that, $9.99, absolute no-brainer. Had to get me some of that. So basically, that's my action figure Funko pickups for the last month or so. The more we steam up to Christmas, obviously it's August, I am aware of that, but the more we get to the tail end of the year, my pickups of everything drop down. That includes like the little consoles I like to get, although mostly those get sent to me for free. But I had to do this because it's been building up and building up and building up and sat on my shelves and getting to the point where it was difficult for me to remember what was new and what was old and stuff like that. And I do like showing the other side to my collection of collecting things, I should say. So anyway, as always, I'd love to know what you think. Do you collect any of the things in this video, or do you just collect Funko? Or do you hate Funko? Because I know quite a lot of people do. And also, the other thing is, do you go to specific stores, do you buy it on Amazon, or do you luck out in the high street? Because I'm telling you people, especially with stuff like this, keep your eye on B&M. They are hands down one of my favourite stores. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.